Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of Reframe and Reclaim. I'm Jen Harris.
And I'm Courtney Huckabee.
And it's that time of year where it's cold outside, you're layering up, you come home, and what do you do with all those layers?
Take them off.
It's
hot inside with the heater.
So today we're talking about those mudroom must-haves. So I find it very critical for my home to function properly to have a designated drop zone when you first get in the home.
I think that's so smart.
Because if not, backpacks end up
everywhere
on the floor.
Where
Papers
are
get
those
scattered.
Shoes? Where's that coat?
All the things. So as people are coming in with heavier coats, I find it is critical to have not only a drop zone, but have designated drop zones. So places for everyone to have their spot. So there's no excuses of, well, there wasn't any room, or, well, I didn't know about it, because there's always excuses when a task has not been completed, I have found. So having hooks to hang things up is really helpful for backpacks, scarves, coats, all those kinds of things. You can have your zones together or separate. So my kids really have one drop zone, and then my husband and I have a separate one for our things because we're dropping things like keys and wallets and things that you don't want to lose or to get mixed up in with the kid clutter, right?
The kid lunchbox, where are my keys?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, because you're trying to get out the door quickly,
Mm-hmm.
so you want to make sure you know where your items are. Something else, so hooks in designated areas. Also, a tray that holds waterproof boots or shoes. So if you have anything wet coming off, so that way it's not ruining your floors. That way you're not making a slip hazard for anybody.
Right. I all the time. And it doesn't snow a ton in Texas during the winter. But when it rains, it's just gross.
Yeah.
And then, you want to get those wet shoes off, but then you're also in your socks. And then you're
and sometimes your
wet.
socks are wet.
Yeah.
So that has been really helpful in our home. I find it's critical to have some sort of tray to drop those wet boots, shoes, and socks. If you can have a hamper right there too, that's also really helpful. Especially if you're in high traffic snow areas where people go out and play all day and they come back in and strip down. So if you can have your mudroom right next to the laundry room, maybe there's a hamper there. If not, maybe it's just a small basket right there where people can drop their laundry. But that's another
I like that a lot.
Another little tip. For me, it's also where am I at? I can't read. It's a tragedy. Ah, yes. So something else I purchased just a few years ago, but I find is critical to have in our mudroom drop zone, is their reusable hand warmers. So if you're going to be out in the cold, these you actually snap. It's kind of like the disposable ones, like the cold ice packs that you snap and they turn cold.
Reusable ones.
Yeah, so you snap them and they get hard and they put off a lot of heat. And then you boil them and soften the gel inside, and then you can reuse them again. So I think these are fabulous teacher gifts if they're doing car pickup line and things like that. These are really good, but we have reusable hand warmers that we keep
those
there that are easy to grab.
Great.
Yeah.
I need those.
So I think those are critical. Also, are you doing any sports this winter that require specific equipment? So one thing I do in the summertime, we take out all the winter coats and put those in kids' closets up and away.
Stored away.
So it's not in the main traffic areas. But what I do is I have a bag with their pool stuff. So all their goggles and things are already ready to go. I just have to put in fresh towels, and it's hung up on just a hanger in my coat closet.
Ready to go.
But then in the wintertime, I switch that out, and maybe it's a bag for winter sports. Maybe it's for basketball or, fall baseball. And so I try to keep those grab-and-go bags easily accessible, whether you have a mudroom or just a coat closet to go to. I always have a bin for sunglasses. Sunglasses are critical for me for my eye care.
I keep my sunglasses in my car. But I have found that if I'm going in my husband's car or someone else is driving me somewhere, I'm wait, where are my sunglasses? So I agree. Sunglasses, especially whenever you do get snow and it's really blinding with the sun shining off of that, it's really good to have those.
It's also, this is a very controversial snow apparatus. You may also want to keep an umbrella. Now, some people may look at you funny, but I've seen some people use umbrellas to keep snow off of them. Other people have glared at them and shamed them for having umbrellas.
Well, we get a lot of sleet and we get a lot of like sludge falling in Texas. So I always keep an umbrella in my car again. But we also do have some umbrellas. Like if we have guests who come over and it starts to rain, they can take it out of the house and bring it back. We have extras in our laundry room / mud room. Because I love that you talked about the hampers. I got that. Hooks, got that. So.
And really, it's making a space that functions for you. You know, and so maybe you don't need all these, maybe you don't need the hooks because you have a coat closet where you can hang some of these items, but you need a bench and the tray to drop your shoes.
Right.
So it's really finding and adapting what works best for you. And then the last thing really is just the communication of the space. Being, you know, we talk about the maintain step in the book and getting all the key players involved, everyone accountable, and making sure these are the expectations for this space. Just because it's a drop zone doesn't mean you just drop your stuff and go.
On the floor to be tripped on.
Yes. Yeah. Like, so in our house, it's a routine of like you hang up your backpack, you take out your lunchbox, take out any papers. When it's the school season, I have a tray on one of my shelves that's specifically for papers, because if not, they end up on the kitchen counter, right?
Right.
And then it's just a pile on the counter. And
pile of pants.
You're right. Pile of papers and pants, yes. But
I really like this. I will say, like, I think my husband uses the mudroom coat drop zone more than me and my son. But if we had like a spot where my son's shoes go, my shoes go, my husband's shoes go, I think we would use that more. I know my husband keeps multiple jackets and coats in our mudroom. I keep mine in my closet. My son keeps his in his closet. For me, it's like when I'm getting dressed, I want to know like what jacket fits over my big sweater or like matches my outfit or like it has rain slickness as well. Kind of like, what do I need? So I like the idea of like each person having their own spot, and then it's like you have this much designated space. If you need more, it's got to go somewhere else.
Yes.
But also communicating what the expectation is, because you know, with any other space in your home, if we're not recruiting everybody to keep that space, you know, in its kind of order, it very quickly becomes disorganized.
And to me, this is a really critical space because it's normally right when you walk in. So if you are bringing groceries and you don't want to be tripping over shoes or you don't want to be tripping over backpacks and other items. And I know there's other systems people use where it's like some people just have a basket and all the kids' shoes go in there, everybody's shoes.
It works.
But for me, like I need to know where my shoes are so I can quickly grab them, because if not, it's going to be this. And then all those shoes are going to end up somewhere else, and I have to take the time to put them back in the basket.
It's just more work.
Yes.
And it's not making
I'm too old
sense.
For that.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for your time, because
simple.
Your systems should not create more work for you or take more time, except for sometimes you have to like evaluate or take inventory, but it shouldn't be a daily, you know, taking more of you or your resources.
Right. And then if you do decide to have that hamper there, what system are you going to have to make sure that those clothes are washed? You know, is it something you do daily or weekly? Because, you know, wet clothes can get
mold.
Yes.
And smell
and
get gross. Yeah, real easily.
Right.
But I like this idea because with this, it creates a little bit of organization as soon as you walk in, and that first impression in your home usually kind of sets the mood. And so if you walk into a place where my boots go here, my jacket goes there, my backpack goes there, hopefully you continue to keep things a little more tidy or organized. If I see that I'm just like throwing my shoes here, well, I'm just going to throw my trash there, and I'm just going to like leave my plate here. It kind of sets the tone for the space.
Well, again, going back to setting the tone and the expectations, if you have a bench and like a tray for wet shoes to go, or any shoes, and you come in and take off your shoes, that's going to be a signal to your guests, oh, I need to take my shoes off. Here's the place where I can put those.
Yes.
So it's not, there's no question of it, right?
Yeah, I like that a lot. And again, you know, if you're going into your home, what system works for you? But if we're walking into someone else's home, just being polite of whatever their system is, if it is different than yours, because we want to be polite and considerate guests as well.
Yes. So this winter season, I hope you get lots of snow that is very easy to shovel, or someone shovels it for you. But I hope you get to play in the snow if you so desire. And just, I hope these techniques and systems can help you keep the wetness off the floor, snow and slipping and falling, keep some order in the chaos of all the layers, and bring some peace and calm to your home this winter season. So if you've used any of these tips before or have any other tips, leave it below in the comments. We'd love to hear. You can also follow, subscribe, listen to our audiobook if you want to go more in depth. I know we're focusing on the mudroom today, but we go through the excuses you tell yourself in order to keep you from decluttering. So there's that resource as well.
Reframing things, finding the reframe, and then, making sure that we start that reclaim. Because I can say, yeah, this is how I've always done it, or this is just fine. And it might be just fine, but can it be better? Or is there something that needs to change so it does work well and you do feel good in that space?
And I do think at the end of the season, you definitely need to take some time to do the I-step inspect and evaluate, and inspect it. Did this work for me? What worked? What didn't?
Right.
What can I change?
Right.
Because again, it really needs to function first and foremost for you. So
yes. So thanks again for watching and listening in. If you want to share this information with somebody, send it along, share, and then comment below if you have any extra ideas or if you've used any of these tips or tricks.
yes. Happy snow days, and we'll see you later.
Stay warm.